Ho, ho, ho. I have it on good authority that a lot of nice boys and girls might be getting a new rifle for Christmas. Well, if you're one of the lucky ones, take the time to clean it and break in the barrel for maximum performance over its lifetime. Say, before we dive into this cleaning and maintaining a rifle, I'd like to invite you to join us on Patreon. Go to patreon.com and look at Ron Spomer Outdoors. It'll give you all the simple directions for joining us. And our patrons on that site get to ask us detailed questions about guns and shooting and contribute suggestions for future videos and just get involved in what we do here. And we really appreciate your support. Now, what about this barrel break-in idea? The basic idea is to smooth that barrel out so that it cleans more easily over its lifetime and is maximally accurate. The question is, does it make a difference? And the answer is, I don't know. And I don't think anyone knows, because think of it. If you have a barrel that has probably some little micro fibers of steel sticking up, and you shoot your bullet down it and you get copper stripped off and it gets underneath there, you're always going to have these little flaws inside. And we're talking microscopically here, but that's probably going to compromise your accuracy. But does it or doesn't it? And if you had polished that barrel to remove those before you started shooting a lot, will that make a difference? How do you know? Once you've done it, there's no way to go back and undo it. So err on the side of caution. I think you would break in the barrel. I've done it both ways, and I really haven't noticed a major difference, especially in a hunting rifle. Now, if I were going to buy a rifle and tune it up for winning some sort of a world's record for bench shooting or something, putting all those bullets into one hole, I would definitely do it. Why take any chances? But for a hunting rifle, I mean, if you've got a rifle that groups 1.5 inches at 100 yards, you're good out to 500 yards on a deer-sized animal easily. And these days, a lot of rifles, if not most, come with minute angle guarantees. That means at 500 yards, all your bullets are going into a 5-inch circle. Gosh, that's incredible accuracy. So I don't really think that breaking in a barrel is going to change that. But for absolute best accuracy in a target rifle, you would definitely want to do it. Now, if you're a stickler for doing things right and you've got this wonderful new rifle and you want to do everything you can to start it off on the right foot, why not break in that barrel? But how do you do it? Here are some of the ways. And somebody once told me, if you asked 10 barrel makers how to break in their barrel, you'd probably get 10 different answers. Because it's really all over the map. A lot of them will say, clean your barrel initially, fire one shot, clean it again. I mean, clean. You want to get all the copper out of it. So what you're doing is you're gradually filing down those little pieces of steel sticking up. So the next guy will say, well, you need to do that after every 2 shots or after every 3 shots. But then for how many? Some will say 1 shot clean, 1 shot clean, 1 shot clean for 10 shots. Some of them will take it to 20 shots. Then another guy will say 1 shot clean, 2 shots clean, 3 shots clean. It's all over the map. But the basic idea is the same. You want to polish off any imperfections that might be in that barrel. Now, something worth understanding about barrels is that they're not all made the same. There are different techniques for rifling a barrel. So you get a barrel, you drill a hole through it. That's your caliber, your bore size. Let's say 30 caliber. This is a 308 right here. Now you have to rifle that. You have to cut those little grooves spiraling down that bore. Well, to cut those, you're going to be tearing some of that steel perhaps. That's cut rifling. They literally cut it when they drag this sharp little carbide blade through there. But there's another way that's called broached or button rifling, in which they're essentially squeezing that groove, that rifling groove inside. So can you imagine pulling a little steel broach through that barrel hard enough to impress it and make a groove in it? It seems impossible to me, but they do it. It's a popular way of making a smooth barrel. There you're not cutting any steel. That might be a better option. And then there's the cold hammer forge system, which is kind of the modern one. It's just really nice because it involves a mandrel and no cutting. A mandrel is like a rod, like this cleaning rod right here, that has the rifling grooves in reverse on top of it already. So you put that inside of the bore, and then you put it in this big machine that has lots of hammers on it, and you literally start hammering that chunk of steel until you squeeze it down to the size of your barrel. I mean, they'll start with a billet of steel about this long and this big around. By the time they're done hammering it, it's a 24-inch barrel, fully rifled, no cutting involved. Pretty nice system. So whether or not one shoots better than another is another argument, because they've all won bench rest competitions. Each one of them has its fans. So I think you don't really need to care too much about how your rifle was made, how that barrel was made. If you really want to be safe, just do a barrel break-in. So it's up to you. I would say don't just take my word for it. Do a little bit more research, find out what others recommend, and then make up your own mind. If it makes sense to you to shoot once and clean for 10 shots or 20 shots, do it that way. If you think, I don't want to waste all that time and ammunition, take 1 shot clean, 2 shots clean, 3 shots clean. Sometimes I'll go 1 shot clean, 3 shots clean, 5 shots clean, 10 shots clean. Good enough. If the rifle is shooting accurately, I figure it's good enough. I don't know. Either way, I don't think you're going to be disappointed, because rifles these days are made so well and the barrels are such good quality that they almost all shoot minute of angle. And if you're a hunter, you just want a good deer and elk rifle, really don't need any better than that. In fact, you could have a rifle that only groups 1.5 MOA and you're going to hit everything you aim at out to 100 yards, 500 yards, even probably 600 yards if you do your part. So don't get too worried about barrel break-in. But if you really do appreciate rifles and fine riflery, and you want to do your best and really treat your rifle well, I would probably go with a break-in, at least some kind of a break-in period. The big question then is, how do I clean that barrel? And I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on barrel break-in, and they'll discuss what I'm discussing, but they won't show you how to clean a barrel. And that's a big deal, because you can ruin a barrel by cleaning it as much as by shooting it too much. So in our next video, we're going to do how to clean your barrel without damaging that barrel. And here again, there are a lot of ways to do it, and they evolve too. You know, I've talked with gunsmiths 20 years ago who said you get yourself an oversized bronze brush and you really go at it and hammer that thing. Now I talk to the same gunsmith and they'll say, no, you don't want to use a tight brush. You don't want to use a bronze brush. You don't want to be too vigorous about it. So what's the truth? We're going to try to find out and discuss it all in our next episode. Hey, thanks for watching this one on barrel break-in. Tune in to the next one and we'll show you how to clean that barrel for your break-in. I'm Ron Spomer. Be sure to join me at ronspomeroutdoors.com, my website, and you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Ron Spomer Outdoors. Hunt honest, shoot straight.